Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to things you do wrong every day. I actually reacted to the first minute and a half and then my PC just decided to turn off. So, I'm not going to pretend like I haven't seen the first minute or 2 minutes. But, yeah, in this video, it's just going to be everyday things. And I mean, based off the thumbnail, it's stuff like sitting on the toilet. So, with that, I guess stuff like brushing your teeth. Just all these random things that we're apparently doing wrong. And to be honest, I mean, every country, look, I say every country. A lot of countries have different ways of like going to the toilet. I mean, some countries don't have toilets, or toilets that we see as toilets. I don't know how to explain it. Like in India, I swear they literally just use like a hole in the floor and they'll sort of sit, like they'll not kneel down, but they'll like be low. I guess bend down with their feet still on the ground. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, we're gonna see this video. Hopefully, you learn some things and hopefully you're going to enjoy. And I mean, yeah, let's just jump into it. Should I skip it? There's no real point, is there? Because no one else has seen it. Let's just skip. Nah, let's just skip.
Everyone has a few bad habits, but some of those habits make everyday tasks much more difficult than they have any right to be. And because of them, there are so many things we've been doing wrong all this time without even knowing. From peeling sticky notes to charging your phone and even using the bathroom. It's time to find out what you've been doing wrong all this time.
Like, how do you charge it wrong?
Showering setbacks. Okay, so you might have hit that snooze button like 4 or 5 or 20 times, but you're finally up. Good job. Although nothing gets you ready to face the day quite like getting squeaky clean in a nice hot shower. But hold the soap there for a second, bud, because spending too much time under the hot water actually isn't all that good for you.
This is why I stopped using hot water. Like, it genuinely just messed up my skin. Sometimes I use warm water on like my body and stuff, but for my face I have to use cold water. It has to be cold. Like, it'll just have like a red face, and it will get like over like the coming days and weeks, it will just get worse and worse to the point where it's getting like scabby and stuff and cracked. So yeah, I just can't use it. But I prefer it as well because cold water, especially in the morning, it kind of wakes you up, gets you ready for the day, you know. But
showering frequently can wash off some of the skin's good bacteria and oils, which upsets the body's natural balance, causing dry and cracked skin. Not only that, but according to the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology, showering too frequently can also lead to serious skin problems such as eczema. So, to avoid this incredibly itchy future, all you have to do is reduce the number of days you take a shower on. But if you really can't get by without bathing daily, just keep to scrubbing the essentials. Antiperspirant problems. Once you're nice and clean, you reach for the antiperspirant. But wait, should you really be applying that deodorant now? Because if you take a look at the label of most antiperspirant deodorants, they'll tell you to put it on right before you go to bed. How can that be, right? Well, as it turns out, because you're less active at night, you sweat less. So your skin absorbs more of the active aluminum-based ingredient of antiperspirant, which sinks in and blocks those sweat ducts overnight. Plus, the active ingredient will generally last for about 24 hours, so its effect won't wear off overnight. Looks like you don't have to sweat about this problem ever again.
But still, what the hell? I mean, it's probably why it's good to read packages and labels, but I've never thought that this is a thing you put on just before you go to bed. Because also, sometimes you sweat more in bed because you have the blanket on, and then you just realise, oh, I'm sweating like a bitch. So, I mean, yeah, if you're not someone who sweats a lot or you just don't use a blanket, then fair enough. But also, if it's a hot night, then maybe also it's still not going to be as effective. But still, didn't know that.
Banana bonanza.
Don't say
After
how
all
you
those
eat
hygiene hijinks, it's time for some breakfast. Bananas are a perfectly healthy start to any morning. Then again, if the stem is soft or the top is a bit mushy, they can make your morning messy. But what if I told you that tearing the stem is not the way to go? According to monkeys, also known as nature's banana-eating aficionados, it's easier to peel this delicious yellow fruit open from the blossom end. Simply pinch the brown stub until the peel splits and just keep peeling away. Not only is it easier, but peeling it this way can also help remove all those weird banana strings that sometimes stick to the fruit after you've peeled it. Now you can literally enjoy the fruits of your labor.
If that's actually easy, that's crazy. What the fuck?
Toothpaste trouble. Now, regardless of whether you brush your teeth before or after you've eaten breakfast,
if you brush your teeth before you eat breakfast, you're sick in the head. Now, that's a bit too far, but honestly, like, I want to taste my food and then have a fresh sort of have fresh breath. Like, what I'll do is I'll go to the toilet and get rid of my morning breath. I'll just wash my mouth with water. Then I'll eat some food, and this looks good, man. I'm not gonna lie. And then when I'm done eating, I'll brush my teeth, and then I'll get on with my day. Like, you don't want to go out with, I don't know. I mean, it probably doesn't matter either way. But for me, I want to taste my food and then have nice sort of just feeling breath for the start of the day, you know. But
there's still a good chance you're doing it wrong. Over the years, commercials have made it look like you should be squeezing out long layers of toothpaste onto your toothbrush to keep the cavities at bay. But this just isn't true. Commercials use these long ribbons of paste to make their product look a little more appealing and make you use more toothpaste. But the reality is that a single pea-sized blob is enough to keep your teeth looking and feeling squeaky clean. Well, I'm not sure about you, but at this point, I don't even know if I'm breathing correctly. The only thing I know that everyone can do correctly is every single day. Folding fumble. All fed and fresh, it's time to get some chores done. First up, putting away the laundry. Ugh. Even though it's a simple task, it feels like it takes forever. Scrunching things up and cramming them into drawers leaves creases in all the wrong places. But trying to make your closet look like a super neat department store showcase is way too much hassle. Or is it? As it turns out, it takes a grand total of just 3 seconds to fold a shirt like this.
No, it does not. It takes about 15 seconds for me and I'll still do it wrong.
Did that look like some sort of witchcraft to you? Then let's go through it slowly. First, you lay the shirt out.
I'm sorry, that's enough. I don't want to have some commentary over it, man. I can't be asked. There is commentary over that.
Refrigeration frustration. Next on the list of chores is to help put away the groceries, which contains a fresh carton of eggs. But if you're thinking about storing them away in the egg compartment of your fridge door, then I've got some bad news for you. Eggs should be kept at a constant temperature below 68 degrees to maintain their freshness, but the refrigerator door is actually the warmest part of the fridge. Being opened and closed throughout the day exposes the eggs to more frequent temperature fluctuations, compromising the egg's overall quality. And, annoyingly, despite being the perfect space for it, milk shouldn't be stored in the door either. Like eggs, temperature fluctuations can cause the milk to go off quicker.
So I've never had a fridge here where you have 2 doors. Like, would it actually be more convenient, or is it just for style? Because I guess if it was just one big door, it would still be the same amount. It would just be here. The whole door would just be this side or this side. Is it just to make it look more fancy, maybe? I don't know. It does make it look cooler, to be fair, but I feel like it's only on bougie fridges you have it like this.
This can cause the milk to go off quicker.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
So where should you keep all your milk and eggs, if not in this one refrigerated basket? Experts suggest storing quick-to-spoil foods like these towards the back of the main body of the refrigerator, as it's a cooler area that's more resistant to temperature fluctuations. What an excellent solution! Condiment chaos. Now, just because you've got room in the fridge door doesn't mean you should be shoving every condiment under the sun in there. Sure, some naturally preserved condiments like jams and sauces will work well in that space, as they don't need to be kept at a constant temperature. But what about ketchup? Some people have an age-old habit of putting it in the fridge, but doing so is totally pointless.
Not for me,
Commercially made ketchup typically involves tomato, sugar, and vinegar, which gives the sauce a specific acidity. It's this that keeps the condiment preserved and safe to eat in room temperature conditions, even if it's not been refrigerated. Meaning you can free up that precious fridge space for something that really needs it.
Plus,
unless you're one of
the idea of having cold sauce with some warm, like, sausage or that sounds weird, or like chips, just warm food with cold ketchup, it doesn't really make sense. Like, I mean, some people probably like it and that's why they do it, and I'm not going to argue against it because I've probably had it before. I mean, I definitely have had cold ketchup or barbecue sauce or whatever, and it's not bad, but I'm just sort of like, if you really think about it, why would you want something cold with something warm? Because also when you leave it out, it's not going to be warm either. It's just like, I don't know, not too cold. And plus, like you said, you don't waste space, but at the same time, you probably just waste the space somewhere on your kitchen. Like me, when I have a small kitchen, it just builds up and then there's just loads of useless things just on the side. that can't be cleaned because there's just no space.
For those people that enjoys their ketchup chilled. Personally, cold ketchup on hot food makes my mouth feel all kinds of wrong.
Yeah,
While
it's a bit
this will
weird, isn't it?
probably spark a third world war, let me know how you store your ketchup
I
down
don't
in
realize
the
how
comments.
passionate I am about cold ketchup.
Crass crossing out. That's
That's
another
definitely me.
chore crossed off the list of things to do. While striking a line through it is satisfying,
I'll
it
just
doesn't
scribble, man.
exactly conceal what the original words you had written down were. What if it had been something secret, personal, or even embarrassing? Like pay that parking fine, buy new underwear, or watch the new Logan Paul video. Sure, you could
Buy new
furiously
underwear? Why
scribble
is
over
that
the words or
embarrassing?
reach for the whiteout, but there's a much simpler
What the
solution
fuck?
that'll keep your secrets safe from prying eyes. Instead of striking a straight line, write a series of random letters over the words you want to erase. The jumble of letters make the original word much harder to make out, let alone read, so no one else has to know about your mistakes or your deep dark secrets ever again.
I mean, it makes sense.
Sticky
to be
note
fair.
snags. Wait, you've just remembered something else you need to get done today and grab a sticky note to quickly write it down. But when you peel it off and stick it up, the note just curls up and falls off. Most of us just accept this as a limitation of using post-it notes, but it's actually because you've been using them wrong this whole time. When you peel the notes up from the bottom, the sticky line bends the paper in the direction it was pulled, leaving you with a bent memo. But if you peel a post-it from the side or pull it straight down, the notes stay flat. Finally, you can say goodbye to missing memos and notes lost behind the back of your desk. Bobby pin problems.
Damn.
Now, if you have long, lustrous hair,
What
you've
are bobby
probably
pins
used a
for
bobby
again?
pin or two to keep stray wisps out of your eyes while getting all these tasks done.
just like hair
But
clips.
a lot of you
Oh,
will
they are just hair
find that
clips.
these little hair grips slip out almost as quickly as you put them in. What's the deal with that? Well, as simple as they look to use, you're putting them in wrong. Even though it seems like the wavy side should face up, it's actually designed to act as a grip on the underside.
But I don't use bobby pins, so this is not really much use to me.
As good a time as any to get some exercise. This could be all that cost. Getting physical. With
Okay.
all that life admin done, now's as good a time as any to get some exercise. This could be a quick run or a trip to the gym, but whatever you prefer, you should do some stretching first. After all, most of us have been told
My
since our
biggest
school
issue is
days
not
that
stretching, man.
before exercise helps prevent
I
muscle
needed to
injuries
do it,
and can
honestly.
even be beneficial to our performance. But that's not strictly true. While
What?
stretching
Don't even do this, man. Stretching's needed, man. It's actually needed. Because it will affect you in the long term as well. Yeah, I just need to stretch. I'm not hearing it. If he starts saying, oh, stretching, it's not actually that helpful, whatever. Don't lie, man.
sure feels good and helps promote flexibility, there's no concrete scientific backing that it helps to reduce injury when done before exercise.
What? That's got to be a joke. That has got... Maybe... I mean, I'm trying to sort of argue against it, but I can't because I'm not, like, deep into that world, like, to, like, knowing how it helps and stuff. But surely it stretches it out so there's more chance... There's less chance of it being tighter, which will lead to you injuring, because the more tight it is, I guess the easier chance you're going to have injuring your hamstring or whatever it is.
Exercise. Large-scale studies have shown that in high-intensity training, like army exercises, stretching beforehand made no significant difference on injury rates or muscle soreness. What's even more amazing is that some studies into sprinting and jumping found that people's performance was actually reduced on average when they stretched beforehand. But
doubt
a
that.
few studies alone aren't enough to cement these findings
Yeah.
into facts. So whether you want to stretch before exercising or not is really up to you. Though it might not be as important as your old high school gym teacher made it out to be. Microwave
That
madness.
is interesting, though.
Looks like you've worked up an appetite from all that exercise, so
That's
it's
good.
time to heat up some leftovers for lunch. After zapping your meal in the microwave for a couple of minutes, you take it out only to find that the food on the edge is scorching hot, but the middle is still horribly
I'm gonna
cold.
like learning about
This
this
is
one,
because the radiation produced by microwaves doesn't
happens to me
travel
all
very
the time.
far, and depending on how dense your meal is, those waves will only penetrate a limited
My tactic is just get the biggest flat bowl possible and try and have like it not high up, just have it spread out as much so there's not levels to it. Like having a bowl like this, it's too high up and the stuff in the middle at the bottom's not going to be warm.
Amount of the food. Most people solve this problem by stopping and stirring their food several times. But come on, who really has time for that? Netflix won't watch itself. What you should be doing to reheat your leftovers evenly and quickly is leaving a hole in the middle of your food so that it forms a ring.
See, that makes sense, but then you're just having less food and then you got to go up and do it again for a second round. But I mean, this looks like a big plate to be fair.
This way, everything is on the edges and gets cooked quickly without leaving an icy center. And if it's in a bowl, just dig a little hole in the middle to achieve an evenly heated meal every time.
I mean, that's actually a
Leftovers
good, fair
never
point.
looked so good.
But to be honest, I just
Seasonal
do it for
ceiling
longer
fans.
and it just does the job.
It's feeling a little bit chilly out, so you turn to your trusty household heater to warm up the place. But have you ever considered using your old ceiling fan to help heat up your house? It does sound a bit backwards. After all, you only really use the draft from these fans to help cool you down.
But that also doesn't actually help. Like, if the air is warm, it doesn't actually help. It makes you warmer, if anything. So I guess what he's saying is if the air is warm, like if you've got a heater on and it's making it warm, it means it's going to spread it around more. If that's what he's going to say, that does kind of make sense. But I'm still interested to see how that actually helps, because it will still give you the sensation of thinking you're a bit colder. I don't know,
Summer. And yet, they have a little-known winter function as well. Typically, ceiling fans run counterclockwise in the summer, so that the angle of the blades pushes air down towards you. This creates a wind chill effect on your skin, making you feel cooler. But in the winter, reversing the fan's direction and dropping its speed actually draws up cool air and pushes down warm air that's risen to the top of the room. This small change can help you save as much as 15% on your heating bills, leaving you with a warm, fuzzy feeling.
I mean, they're not in the UK, but
and
still. I didn't realise they could actually have the ability
Hats
to do
off
that.
to you. Now you have to run a few errands, but since it's cold outside, you should probably wear a hat. After all, your mother and your teachers always told you that you lose most of your body heat through your head. But if you're trying to keep your whole body warm solely by loading up on cozy hats, you're making a mistake. Sorry, Mom, but according to the British Medical Journal, a person only loses 7 to 10% of their body heat through their heads. The entire myth likely stems from an old 1970s military study, which claimed as much as 45% of your body heat escapes from the top of your uncovered melon. Unfortunately, they weren't practicing very good science back then, as the subjects they were testing were wearing full Arctic suits and only had their heads exposed to the cold. Since then, science has come to its senses and claimed that exposing
doing those tests. They must have went to extremes for those sorts of tests. Oh man.
Any part of your body to the cold will reduce your core body temperature proportionally. So you should focus on a full body warming solution and not just use your head.
They must be so
Pizza
toasty
saver purposes. All up, it's been a pretty good day, so you've invited a few friends over and ordered a pizza. But when you open up that box of cheesy, doughy goodness, you find one of those strange little white plastic gizmos perched in the...
What's he going to say about this? I feel like I've heard this before. What do you do with it? It's used to cut the pizza or something. Oh, what is it? Oh, I can't remember what he's going to say, but I think it helps cut the pizza up.
Middle of your pie. It may look like a tiny table, but this gadget, called a pizza saver, stops the top of the box from being squashed into the food. It's an ingenious invention, but because it's not edible, a lot of people just toss it into the trash before pawing at the pizza.
Yeah, just keep
but
it.
You don't want to do that, as it has another use that'll stop your friends from putting their hands all over your slices. I mean, your friends are probably great, but who knows where their grubby mitts have been? Fortunately, by pressing the prongs of the pizza saver down into a single slice, it remains in place while the adjoining slices can be torn off, leaving them totally untainted. It's the perfect pizza-saving solution for everyone, assuming you have friends. Unwieldy wine glasses. You're feeling fancy, so it's time to crack open a bottle of wine to serve with that greasy pizza. What a classic pairing. After you've poured it into your wine glasses, you might be tempted to hold this booze-filled baby by the bulb. As sophisticated as it feels, you actually shouldn't hold it like this when you want to take a sip. Instead, your fingers should remain firmly on the stem. This is because around 80 to 90% of what we perceive as taste is actually our smell. Don't believe me? Just think back to the last time you had a bad cold or a blocked nose, and remember how dull and bland your food tasted. So, to best experience the taste of fancy and expensive wine, glasses were developed with a long stem so that your hand remained far away from your nose. This prevents the smell of your fingers from interfering with the flavors of the wine. Though in this case, seeing as you're casually chugging down that wine with a greasy pizza, I don't reckon it'll make much of a difference.
What the fuck?
Toilet training. Unfortunately, all that wine has made you desperate to visit the porcelain throne.
Toilet training?
Now, make no mistake, being able to stand up,
What is this? What are these? Wait, I'm so confused.
unzip, and quick
I don't know why that's baffled me so much. I've never seen, what are these types of toilets called again? What? Not portaloos. What are these toilets called? I can't remember, but I've never seen them with these little boxes. What the hell is that? Is it just a flush or something?
relieve yourself is just one of the many privileges of being a man. But it's not always the best way to go about your business. In fact, sitting down actually allows men to empty more.
Come on, man. No one's sitting down when they're having a piss. Come on, just relax. I'm just laughing because it's silly, man. There's no way people sit down and pee. I mean, obviously females do, but no way men. No way any males do that. I mean, it probably is. Maybe you're just so lazy you just can't be asked to stand up, which is fair enough. Plus, sometimes people just like to sit on the toilet and just go on their phone, like me. So maybe it just gives you an excuse to do that.
More of their bladder than if they were standing
To me, oh no, I'm not gonna say that.
upright.
I was gonna, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna
This
say
is
it.
because you're able to use your abdominal muscles to really push
what is that
every
belly
last
button?
drop out, resulting in fewer bathroom breaks. Not only that, but it'll really help with the eternal problem of the male aim, much to the delight of the women in your life, I'm sure. Though you
be
shouldn't
fair-
adjust your position just for number ones, but for number twos as well. Sitting upright on the john is a practice that's been around since the time of ancient Egypt, over 5,000 years ago.
On the john, is
But,
that what it's
and
called?
it's a big but, the problem with sitting like this is that it keeps a kink in your lower bowel, caused by the continence-preserving muscle of the puborectalis. This forces you to strain harder when pushing out poop from your colon, risking the development of painful conditions like hemorrhoids and colon disease. So, how exactly are you meant to relieve yourself without doing yourself a disservice? The answer can be found in a simple squat. Raising your knees up to your chest, roughly 35 degrees from your body, relaxes that puborectalis muscle and straightens out your colon, giving you a straight route to poop. While this position makes things a lot easier on your rear, some people actually clamber up onto the toilet seat to take a real
they
deep
actually?
squat into the bowl. At least they do if these hilariously disturbing toilet warning signs from around the world are anything to go by. Phone
the
charging
fuck?
challenge.
I mean, maybe we're the ones missing out and they're the ones ahead of us, you know, but still.
Turning from the toilet, you hear the all too familiar sound of your phone's low battery warning. Ugh. You just charged it up a few hours ago. While it's well known that smartphone batteries don't have the best charge life, it's also partially our fault because
Yeah.
of the way we charge.
And I think I know what he's going to say. Don't charge your phone when it's reached 100. I've learned to not really charge my phone overnight because obviously it's going to be on 100% for a good few hours and that's what kills the battery. So charge it a bit before, if it's like 70%. I mean, I'm lucky, so I work from home anyway, so I don't need to charge. It's obviously different if people don't work from home. But yeah, I feel like I remember my friend taught me this. I say taught me. He just mentioned it. About like his, I think I asked him, why is his phone charge always so low? And he was just like, barely charge it. I was like, wait, why? I mean, just charge it before you go to sleep. And he mentioned how it drains the battery. I might be completely wrong. It might be another thing, but we're going to see in this.
them. According to the geniuses from the battery company KDEX, lithium-ion batteries like those in your phone are subject to stress. And, just like a human, extended stress can damage the battery's lifespan. When your phone is closer to empty, it draws a constant current and operates at a lower voltage. Lower voltages are really good in a battery's lifespan, as they keep it in a state of low stress, which ultimately increases the number of times the battery can be charged. But leaving your phone on charge when it's already got a full battery will
Yep.
do the opposite. Once
Come
a battery
on.
hits 100%, it trickle charges to keep its power at 100% while plugged in. This high voltage charge keeps the battery in a high stress state, which gradually wears down its chemistry and can lead to system-wide malfunctions and reboots. This means charging it overnight or leaving it to charge idly is a really bad idea. So, how much should you really charge? You should try to use short, irregular top-ups when your battery is between 30% and 80%.
Oh, wow.
While you can't stop your battery from wearing out, armed with what you know now, you should be able to postpone its inevitable fate just a little bit longer. Sleeping setback. After all that, it's time to say goodbye to your buddies and hit the hay. While there's no better feeling on earth than diving under a plush duvet, the position you sleep in might leave you feeling drained and pained. Comfortable as it may be, sleeping on your stomach is actually really bad for your back. Lying face down like this puts a disproportionate amount of pressure onto your spine.
Probably
And
why my
unless you
back's in a
found
bit of pain then. Literally had a nap like an hour and a half ago and I slept exactly like this.
a way to breathe through your pillow, turning your head twists your spine and head out of alignment, which can be a pain in the neck, literally. But if you really can't help but sleep on your front, you should pop a pillow under your hips and restore the natural curve of your back to relieve all that pressure. Plus, it's a great excuse to fill up your bed with more super comfy pillows. But it's
doesn't love
not
a pillow,
just
right?
stomach sleepers that need to be wary. I'm looking at you, side-on sleepers. You may
What?
not think it matters.
I mean, so he's saying sleep straight up. I mean, you're going to move in your sleep anyway. There's no way to control it. I'm always a side sleeper. Pretty much. I mean, like I said, I slept on my front today. But I'm always a side sleeper.
Which side you sleep on, but your organs say otherwise. You see, the stomach's natural position is on the left side of your body. So, if you sleep on the right side, your dinner gets digested against gravity, hindering its breakdown and even causing the old midnight heartburn. With this in mind,
That's
you
a
should
fair point. I definitely had that a few days ago, to be
roll
fair.
over and lie on your left side to get a more restful night's sleep. What's my preferred position, I hear you ask? Well, just ask your mom. We all scream for ice cream. It may
What
be
the
late,
fuck? That's
but
so
it's
cool for
never
man.
too late for a cheeky midnight snack. And you just remembered you have a
damn.
carton of ice cream sat in your freezer. Jackpot! When you got it from the store yesterday, it was soft and delicious. But now, less than 24 hours later, it's come out of the freezer rock solid. Unfortunately, this is because once the ice cream's airtight seal is opened, water vapor in the surrounding air begins to freeze and
That's good,
form
by the
hard
way.
ice crystals in the mix. And the more air it's exposed to in the freezer, the harder it is to scoop. While
Yeah,
this
but just-
leaves most
You just wait for it to like melt for like a good 10-15 minutes.
people
don't you?
trying to chisel chunks out of it like a sugar-obsessed caveman, there's actually a way to stop this from happening. Simply flatten a layer of wax paper or plastic wrap against the
Oh,
ice
shit.
cream surface before replacing the lid, or put the entire carton in an airtight plastic bag. This'll help keep the air out, meaning your ice cream stays soft and ready to scoop whenever your sweet tooth
That will
strikes.
come in useful,
Well,
to be fair.
turns out I've been
I
doing
mean, who doesn't love like just a soft bit of ice cream? God damn, the more you know. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. I mean, if there's some more videos like this, I'll be down to do so. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these, and if you do any of these, or maybe this will change how you do certain things. I'm sure no one's actually going to change how they do daily things because it's just small little things. Maybe the way you sleep, because that probably will be something that affects me in future. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.